first thing we want to do is make sure that the brake is not hindering the vision of the driver. So now we're going to go ahead and set the mirror on the inside so that we can see the reflection of the brake when we're doing the repair. So that our vacuum cups will stick, I'm going to go ahead and place my finger over the brake because it could contaminate it. This way, the suction cup on the platform will make good adhesion. With the probe, I'm going to go ahead and go over the brake and clean the brake of any loose fragments. These loose fragments can go into the brake if we don't clear them off. Then I'm going to go ahead and use the brush, and I'm going to brush away the loose fragments. So this way this does not contaminate the brake. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little lubricant, which is the pit filler. So this way the O-ring sits on there. And this is when we determine which O-ring we're going to use. So I'm going to choose the larger one, and we're going to go ahead and screw that on top of that. We want to make sure that the actual plunger and the two outrigger legs are below the vacuum cup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back this off, and the little outrigger legs. This way there is no pressure on the glass. The next thing we'll do is we'll set the platform over the brake. I'm starting to see the O-ring get a little greener, and that's a good sign. So that means that I'm making good contact. So now I'm going to go ahead and start to tighten the outriggers. Because of the contour of the glass, I want to make sure that the whole O-ring is even. If I don't have it even, I'm not going to have the right pressure that I need to have. There you go, a perfect O-ring. Now I'm going to go ahead and lubricate the O-rings on the actual plunger. When we do this, we don't want to use a lubricant that's going to contaminate the resin, so we're going to use the pit filler because it is a heavier resin. This will help push the resin down into the chamber. So I'm going to put a drop over the O-ring and move it around so this way they get nice and lubricated. I'm going to open the pressure valve, and so once I open it up, I want to give it at least 2 or 3 turns so this way it doesn't push the resin out. After I've done that, there is a groove that I want to make sure I align with the thumbnail, and so I'm going to go ahead and slide this down. Now that I've pushed all the lubricant down into the shaft a couple times, I'm going to go ahead and put 3 to 4 drops of resin into the actual chamber. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Again, I want to make sure the alignment is on there, so I'm going to slide it down. That's pushing all the resin down to the top of the windshield. I'm going to tighten the pressure knob, and I'm going to pull. So this way I make sure that I have good vacuum. You can actually see the vacuum. Pull it back down. That's a good phase right there. So I'm going to pull it, and I'm going to tighten up the thumbnail so this way it keeps that vacuum. We want to create that vacuum for 1 minute. That's step 1. One minute has gone by. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to release the pressure valve at the top, release it, and then tighten it back up. I'm going to loosen the thumbnail screw, and I'm going to put pressure. Now you'll see how if I push down, it pushes right back up. That means I have good pressure. Again, just like in the vacuum, I want to make sure I have this before I go any further. So I'm going to push it down, and I'm going to tighten up the thumbnail. And so now I'm going to leave it like that for 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, I look at it again. If I don't like what it's looking like, then I can go back to step 1. I can never go back too many times, but once I cure it, then that's all I can do. All right, so we're going to go ahead and look at it, and we can already see that there's a change. But we're going to go ahead and give it the 2 minutes. Don't give it less than 2 minutes. You want to give it 2 minutes. If for some reason the phone rings and you answer it, no problem. More time is better, but no less than 2 minutes. All right, after 2 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and check the brake. And once I go around the perimeter with this flashlight, it's ready to go ahead and go to the last step. The last step is to cure the resin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to release the pressure on the actual legs, and then disconnect it. Wipe away the resin. We're going to place a drop of the pit filler on top of the brake, and then we're going to cover it with a Mylar square. Now, the reason why the Mylar square is there, the resin cures when there is no air present. So we want to make sure that Mylar square is there. I'm going to go ahead and get my ultraviolet light, place it on top. This resin cures in 3 minutes. And 3 minutes. After the 3 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and take off the ultraviolet light. Then I'm going to remove the Mylar square. And you will know that it's cured because there's nothing left on the Mylar square. It's all on the surface of the glass. I'm going to get some glass cleaner and shoot right over the area. This way I can scrape it. Now, understand, I don't want to scrape it with it level. I want to scrape it with it at a 90-degree angle. I want to actually scrape the surface and not peel it away. All right, I'm going to wipe away that. And you will see the spot where the repair was, and it's dull. The last step is I want to get some polish, and I'm going to polish that little plastic finish. And I'm just going to buff it by hand. All right. And as you can see, it was right there. And once I take the mirror off, you're not going to see it. As you can see, the Rockstar is simple to use. 3 simple steps. Step 1, 1 minute of vacuum. Step 2, 2 minutes of pressure. Step 3, 3 minutes to cure the resin. So if you're looking for something simple to use the Rockstar.